boys and girls. Today in reading, we're going to be talking about another way that you can analyze a text. So just to kind of remind you, so far we've talked about how you can look at the genre of a text, if it's fiction, nonfiction, fantasy, realistic fiction, and that can help you analyze the text. And remember, analyze means that we're looking closely and we're thinking about it, right? We learned that we can look at a book and analyze if the author is using time order. Are they saying words like first, second, third, teaching us a process in order? Maybe are they going through and telling their story through the course of a day or seasons? Are they telling it through time? Is that how they organize their book? Or is their book told in an interesting structure, like the circular structure? Remember, like you give a mouse a cookie, where it starts with the cookie and goes into all these other things and then comes right back to the cookie, right? Or is it one where it builds on itself, like the little old lady who swallowed something, where it's this, but then it kind of backs up and reminds you about everything, and then it adds something and then reminds you of everything, adds something and reminds you of everything. Or Friday, we learned about repetitive. And you know what was great is Jaden, in his reading group, we were reading a book called One Dark Night. And in that book, each page said that the character went down a dark, dark street, through dark, dark trees, into a dark, dark house, you know, through dark, dark hall, into a dark, dark room. And at the end, we were talking about the book, and he said, it's repetitive. And he was right. He noticed that repetitive phrase in the book of dark, dark. And I was so proud of him for noticing that in the book after we had just had a lesson about it. So that was great. I can't even remember the book. Oh, it was a Pout Pout Fish that I read you yesterday that talked about repetitive. So today I want you to kind of see humorous. Humorous means funny. It's a big word for humor, which means funny. So here I'm going to make maybe I'll make a character with a big ha ha ha, LOL, he says, laugh out loud, ha ha ha, okay? Sometimes authors will put things in their book that in trying to make the book funny, to make you laugh. So they could have humorous words in them, or they could have like sound words in them. The book with no picture is full of this, right? Where they use all those silly nonsense words and try to get the grown-ups to say them. That's a humorous book. He was doing that on purpose, right? He made a plan to do that. So when we analyze, we would say, oh, the author put all these funny words in there to make us laugh, to make it funny. Or maybe they put sound words in there to kind of help us understand, you know, what was happening, or to make the event more funny. So I'm going to read you a book today that has a little bit of humor and sound words in it. We're going to talk about it. And then I'm going to be giving you a book for you to tell me what sound words or funny, humorous words you noticed in your book. All right? So the book I'm going to read you today is called The Great Fuzz Frenzy. Here we go. Oops. Let me get a hold of the book. It's kind of a big book. I better read this page. This page is right here. It's actually on the dedication page. I didn't know if you know this, but authors and illustrators sometimes will dedicate the book to people in their family or people that helped them make the book. So this part down here is dedication, but this is actually part of the story. Violet, where's the ball? Looks like the dog cannot find the ball, but I saw a suspicious looking hole. Look at this book. This is interesting. Down it went. Boink, boink. Run! Oops, here it comes. It keeps going. Watch out below! Rumble, rumble. Help, help! Help! Oh, look at that. Let's go back up. That was pretty crazy. So as you can see, this ball is rolling down this like mole or groundhog hole, right? Now, the author right here used sound words, and it makes it humorous or funny. The ball is going down a gopher hole. That's already funny. But the fact that it's going boink, boink, rumble, rumble, really helps you kind of imagine what's going on. This ball is making a lot of noise as it comes down this groundhog or gopher hole, right? And it's spooking these guys. It's saying, help, help, help. Okay, so he's adding things to make the story more interesting, and he definitely is doing that on purpose. He's adding the sound words to make it more interesting and funny. Plunk. See, now that word tells us that the ball has probably stopped or landed. It's not bouncy anymore. There it sat, perfectly still. The prairie dogs waited, perfectly still. Oh, see, they're prairie dogs. There it is. Can you tell what it is? It's a tennis ball, isn't it? Slowly they crept out, inch by inch, dog by dog. What is it? A thing? A good thing or a bad thing? A round thing? A strange thing? A scary thing? What should we do? Well, don't touch it. Shh. Is it alive? So look here, the author also is putting a lot of talking in here, a lot of dialogue. That's the fancy word for talking, a lot of dialogue. These groundhogs or these prairie dogs, they're talking to each other. They're trying to figure it out. It makes it funny because you can imagine how like they're freaked out about this thing. Look at this one. Stand back! Boomed a voice. You act like a bunch of gutless groundhogs afraid of your own shadow. Oh no, it's Big Bark. Big Mouth, more like it. He's the meanest dog around. I thought he left town. Well, I'm back, growled Big Bark. So out of my way. Let me have a look. But before anyone could move, little Pipsqueak raced past Big Bark, reached out and poked the big round thing. No, the crowd yelled. It's Fuzzy, said Pip. Oh, the crowd gasped. Now see, these are not sound words, but it's dialogue. And the author's really using that to help us kind of feel. And it's silly. It's funny, isn't it? A tiny piece of fuzz was caught in Pip's claw. She looked at it, turned it, sniffed it, and then she put it on her head. Look at me! Ah, the crowd sighed. Quit hamming it up, you half-pint hamster, snarled Big Bark. I'm in charge. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They had to have fuzz. I like it. Me too. I want some. Do you? Oh, yes. So do I. So do we. So do they. Big Bark, move over. Get out of our way. They charged past him and grabbed at the fuzz. Look at him. The prairie dogs pulled it, puffed it, stretched it, fluffed it, tugged it, twirled it, spiked it, swirled it. They fuzzed their ears, their heads, their noses. They fuzzed their feet, their tail, their toeses. Big Bark was beside himself. Listen to me, you ridiculous rodents. Stop this fuzzy foolishness. Now, if we're analyzing this and we're thinking, if the author had not used any dialogue or any of those sound words, would the story have been as interesting? No. Part of what makes this book funny is how they talk to each other and the sounds. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. They were busy being hot dogs and silly dogs, corny dogs and frilly dogs, top dogs, funny dogs, super dogs, bunny dogs. You're all nuts, you squirrely fuzz freaks, yelled Big Bark, storming off. Ooh, another one of these pages. These are fun. News of the fuzz spread from hole to hole, burrow to burrow, town to town. Soon, prairie dogs from everywhere were coming to see that fuzz. They came, they saw, and they picked. They twisted it, braided it, danced and paraded it. It was a fuzz frenzy, a fuzz fiesta, a fuzz fandangle. The whole prairie dog was a buzz about fuzz. They picked and pruned and pulled and pinched. They pinched and pulled and pruned and picked until the fuzz ran out. That big round thing was fuzzless. naked as a plucked chicken. Some prairie dogs got a lot of fuzz. Some got a little. Some got no fuzz at all, and they were mad. Give me that fuzz. Why? Because it's my fuzz. Well, it was. Get that fuzz. Get that fuzz. Pulling, grabbing, swiping, nabbing, poking, jabbing. It was war. War between the fuzzes and the fuzz knots. Their peaceful town was a battleground. It was a fuzz fight, a fuzz feud, a fuzz fiasco. I started this, moaned Pipsqueak. I have to do something. Everyone, stop. Stop fighting. But those prairie dogs didn't listen. The battle raged on. Friend against friend, cousin against cousin, dog against dog, until no one was left standing. They were pooped, fuzzled out, fast asleep. Hours later, the prairie dogs began to stir. Uh-oh, where's the fuzz? I don't know. Where did it go? Someone has stolen our fuzz, cried Pipsqueak. You did. He did. She did. You did. This conversation and the dialogue they have really makes it funny. Oh my goodness, look at this. I did, barked a voice from above. I stole the fuzz. All the dialogue is hilarious. The prairie dogs froze. Then they raced up the long tunnel. There stood Big Bark, covered with fuzz from head to tail. I'm king of the fuzz, he snarled. Do you hear me? I'm king of the... Swoop. The sky went black. What do you think it is? Can you tell? I can't. What happened? Where's Big Bark? Look! There he was, high above their heads, dangling from the talons of an eagle. No more Big Bark! The crowd cheered. Yay! Don't yay! He's one of us, yelled Pip. We have to save him. How would you like to be Eagle's lunch? No! The crowd yelled. Big Bark, wiggle free! The prairie dog shouted. Shake loose, hurry! We'll catch you! Big Bark twisted and turned, wormed and squirmed. At last he was free of the fuzz. Yay! The crowd cheered. Big Bark fell faster and faster. No! The prairie dogs scattered. Get back here, yelled Pip. Quick, make a circle. Hold out your paws. They ran left and then right and then left. Plop. Oh, there's another good sound word. All the dialogue and the sound words make this book super funny. You saved me, Big Bark cried, but I stole your fuzz. Now it's gone forever. Good, said Pipsqueak. Fuzz is trouble, right? Yay! The crowd cheered. Friend hugged friend, cousin hugged cousin, dog hugged dog. We don't need fuzz, said Pip. But with Eagle around, we do need a watchdog with a big bark. Bark! Big Bark rose up on his hind legs. Eagle's back! Bark! This is not a test! Bark! All dogs below! Bark! Oh, there they go, down the hole. The prairie dogs raced down, down, down the long tunnel. Looks like they found a good job for Big Bark. Phew, we made it. That was close. 3 cheers for Big Bark, the best watchdog ever. Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Yip, yip, yay! Just doing my job, Big Bark smiled. Are we ever getting tangled up with the fuzz again? Cried Pipsqueak. No! The crowd yelled. No more fuzz! No more fuzz! And from that day forward, The prairie dogs lived happily and fuzzlessly ever after. Uh-oh. Can you see what might happen next? Looks like Violet might drop an orange fuzzy ball down. So, in this book, it was humorous, right? It was funny, ha ha ha, laugh out loud. It had some sound words, like when the ball bounced down the hole, the boink, thunk, plunk, right? Those words made it funny, and the author put them there on purpose. All the dialogue and the talking also helped make the story humorous. He did that on purpose too. The story would not have been as good if he did not include those things. So when we analyze and look closer, we could notice those things as readers and say, oh, the author put those words in there to make it funny, right? And that makes it more interesting. He did that on purpose. And good readers can analyze books that way. Okay, so I'm going to be giving you a book. Be looking out for things in the story that are humorous or good sound words, things that the author stuck in there to make it funny for you.